Coming to Canada is pretty cool. I have never really fought outside of Maryland, except for when I was an amateur, but I mean, it's cool, but it's just another day, just another fight. I know he trains out of, I think, Extreme Couture, and he allegedly had a shot at the UFC, but it doesn't matter to me. Tonight I'm getting my hand raised when I leave that cage, and hopefully it's with my shin across his face. That's the plan.
Fighting at my hometown in Toronto means a lot to me, just because I get to fight in front of a lot of family and friends that have been supporting me over the years, and just haven't had a chance or opportunity to come see me when I'm fighting out of town. So now it's close, and it's local. I think it's gonna be great. It's a lot of fun, and it means a lot for sure. I don't know too much about him. I know there's a mix-up going through a lot of different opponents for this fight, so I didn't really care to look too much. I sent this video to a coach, and I just know he's down, he's ready to go, he's young, he's fresh, and it's gonna be exciting. I don't know how I see this fight going. You know, like I can fight from everywhere. There's no game plan. I never have a game plan for anyone. I just go in there and I'll deal with whatever situation I'm faced with, so I'll be all right.
Here come your co-main event fighters, ladies and gentlemen, scheduled for 3 rounds in the bantamweight division. Making his way out to the blue corner, this is Matt Skibicki.
That's the deepest cut I've ever seen in person.
So making his way out to the cage to open up our co-main event. Robin's getting filled in by our cut man at cage side on the cut to George Brito, but Matthew Skibicki is going to make his way out. Robin, he opened up his career 4-0 before a split decision loss at Shogun Fights 22 in July of 2019, sent him to 4-1. It was a loss to Jamal Johnson, a very talented fighter in his own right, but Skibicki steps in, taking on Michael Imperato in his hometown. He's showing a lot of guts here.
Yes, he is. We'll talk about Matthew and Mike in 2 seconds. Just to acknowledge, if the audience heard that, as Reed indicated, the cut man came over to tell me about it. The look in his face of shock is something that, you know, you look at guys who have seen cuts for decades and they're like, that's the deepest cut I've ever seen. You know they're telling the truth. But yeah, Matthew Skibicki, hey, listen. Traveling to go get a fight is what you have to do, especially when you're young, upcoming, and people start hearing you're pretty good. Nobody's gonna fight you at home, especially not somebody, you know, in a nightclub in Toronto. It's gonna be a hard fight. You're gonna get on the road, you're gonna learn to be a road warrior, you're gonna have all your medicals done, you're gonna be in shape, and you're gonna say yes to everything. That's the path for a lot of these guys to get where they wanna go, and respect to Matthew.
100%. And that's something that Canadian fighters saw a lot before the sport was legal here in Ontario. They had to go anywhere and everywhere to find fights. Medicals done, ready to go. You experienced that yourself.
Yes, I did. And it's part of the path. Also, let me apologize for butchering Matthew's name there for a moment, but I was covered in blood, so you know, I get an excuse.
Yeah, when you see a cut like that, you're hoping, not by our table, not by our table. They were right over
on
us.
it. Yeah.
Back into the cage to Mr. Throwdown.
And his opponent, making his way out to the red corner, please welcome Michael Imperato.
Michael Imperato is an interesting story because he was looked at as a top prospect for a long, long time. I remember calling him back at Slammer and the Hammer in 2011 in June in Hamilton, where he defeated Andrew Shea and at the time ran his record to 4-1, and then he fought up until 2015. Robin went on a 2-year absence from the sport until 2017, and now returned in 2019, going 1-1 since his return, and he's coming off a win over Mike McCalloon at PFC 11.
Fighting is about learning and growing, not just as a martial artist, but as a human being. And that's what Mike takes a lot of pride in to this day. And listen, let me tell you, the fights he won with skill. And the fights he lost by getting out-skilled. But every single moment of every fight, he's in it. He's committed to the fight. And that's admirable. That's not true of every fighter. It's not true of every person. Mike is committed to it. So if you're going to outskill him and you're going to find a way to beat him, good on you. But you're not going to break him. And that's something he should be very proud of. You saw him kiss his baby. Different challenges in his life, he acknowledges them and says, hey, if I didn't make a mistake here or make an error there, I might not be where I am with my daughter or with my family. You know, he's learning. He's learning about himself through the journey of being a fighter, and that's what it's about.
Career victories over Andrew Shea, Dimitri Wardenberg by ankle lock, and he guillotined Jesse Arnett in 1:08. I'll say that again. He guillotined Jesse Arnett, who's a gigantic bantamweight, in 1:08.
You know, I don't bet on fighting, brother, and I don't even make predictions. But if somebody had a gun to my head and say, how is this one going to end? I would say Michael Imperato by submission because of ones like that, where he has those extra special skills where when you're in it, you're done. And that's the trouble, and that's the challenge when you face him, is if he gets a hold of certain things in certain ways, the night is over. So it's excited to see him back.
Let's go
Happy
back
for
into
him.
Mr. Throwdown.
Here we go, PFC fight fans. The following contest is your co-main event of the evening. Being brought to you by OshwegenSpeedway.com. Scheduled for 3 rounds in the bantamweight division. Here are your co-main event fighters. First, fighting out of the blue corner, wearing the black trunks trimmed in yellow. Standing 5 feet 8 inches tall, he weighed in at 138.6 pounds. He's a wrestling specialist representing hot box, boxing, and fitness. He comes to the PFC cage with a record of 4 wins and only 1 loss, with one of those big wins coming by way of knockout. Fighting out of Crofton, Maryland, by way of Lexington Park, Maryland, USA, ladies and gentlemen, here is Matt Skibicki. His opponent across the cage, fighting out of the red corner, wearing the camouflage trunks trimmed in white. Standing 5 feet 7 inches tall, he weighed in at 135.6 pounds. He's a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu specialist representing Extreme Couture Toronto. He comes to the PFC cage with a record of 8 wins and 4 losses, with 6 of those wins coming by way of submission. Fighting out of and representing Toronto, Ontario, ladies and gentlemen, here is Michael Imperato. Referee Todd Anderson with final fight instruction.
Gentlemen, with the rules in the back, protect yourself at all times, obey my commands at all times. You wish to touch gloves, do so now.
In preparation for this event, Robin went back and watched some footage
Ladies
on
and
Imperato
gentlemen,
and
this
Skibicki.
PFC
One thing that strikes me, we
will
talked
be
about what
decided
Imperato
in
can
3
do.
rounds.
Skibicki, a wrestler, quicker than a hiccup.
Yeah, it's congrats to Mike for taking tough fights too, and congrats to Matthew for coming up here and fighting this kid in his home. And Mike comes out throwing. Mike hits hard, but he does it to get you to commit so he can take you down.
They both landed nasty overhand rights in that
They
exchange.
did. And I was saying Mike has won because of skill, because of winning contests, and he's lost. It's been because of skill. And when he hasn't been able to get people down, some of those fights are the ones that are tougher for him. But you add these skills, you train,
Left
you
hand from
improve,
Imperato.
you improve different parts, and then Imperato's on the bottom, but he's really dicey with the leg locks. And yeah, smart move by Skibicki.
Skibicki able to back away, but Imperato keeps the pressure right on him. This is an interesting clash. Skibicki, a wrestler, coming in to take on a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu specialist. Both men comfortable on the ground, but you'd have to believe that with Imperato's history with throwing submissions, the advantage goes to him despite Skibicki's wrestling background.
So there have been times, and of course these guys change a lot, so Mike has changed a great deal, but there's times where you look where somebody says, I want to add a certain skill, I want to be a better kickboxer. Well, that's not always the answer. The answer sometimes is blending everything towards your strengths. That's why when you see Mike throw a hard overhand right or any types of commitment, they're with the desire to move forward to here. Right? So he's customizing the game, not just let me win kickboxing fights. That's not the point. The point is use your hands and feet to get to a place where you can get down, get on top of a guy, and submit him. Because when he's on top of you, you're done.
And then again, you just have fighters like Dan Henderson, who's an Olympic class wrestler, who decided, I just want to spin your head around.
Yeah, exactly. But it was customizing. He used the threat of the fact that he would take you down to get you to be concerned about it, and then he'd rip you with powerful shots. I'm impressed with Matthew here,
In the clinch, strong.
Yeah.
Oh, and Imperato shovels off with the right hand that just missed the target.
Mike goes to the body to set up that left hook. That's a nice wrinkle I like.
Skibicki pushes him back with the kick.
Talked about Mike's heart and guts. I saw him train with Chad Laprise, who's a welterweight, and Mike is a bantamweight. And Chad touched him up, and Mike just wouldn't go away. You can't get him away. If you can turn him off, that's great. Good on you. but you're not gonna. There's all Mike needed. That's all he needed.
It was just a little window to be able to get that trip takedown, and now you're in Imperato's world, looking to separate and get those legs in for the hooks.
He's got the right arm trapped, and he's going to attack the left arm. Or he's going to clearly attack the neck. Now, Skibicki's being smart.
And Imperato, look at the skill there, Robin. Using those quad kicks, but they're so perfectly placed, and now goes to the body triangle.
Yeah, and aiming the bone. He is comfortable here, right?
Now he's got arm under chin.
He's got him, I think. Yeah, he's got him. He's got him.
Sliding in, squeezing, got him! Michael Imperato pulls off the rear naked choke victory in the first.
Very happy for that kid.
What a display of skill from Michael Imperato.
He got hit by some big shots. He stayed with his plan. He stayed with his approach. He needed one moment. The one moment was the dodging of a head kick to get to the back. And once he got to the back, he got it.
Just a crack in that window was all it took. It was the miss of that kick or the duck of it. Skibicki, as he threw it, Imperato gets underneath it, recognizes it, drags him to the ground, and now it's like a shark in blood-infested water. He's all over you, and he took his time. It was surgical. He pulls it in for that rear naked choke and gets him.
I said he had a daughter earlier. I can't tell if he has a daughter or a son, but he's got a baby, and he loves his baby.
There's the second one.
Oh, there's his daughter.
Yep.
Adorable. Really happy for him and his family.
100%.
Really happy for him.
Great moment for Michael Imperato, a Toronto guy, Extreme Couture Toronto. He's been around the sport for years, 10 years at that, and now getting a win in his hometown.
It really is not, and I know this sounds crazy, but it is not only about winning and losing. It's about growing, and he's done that. But it's also better when you grow and you do win. I feel good. I'm happy for him.
Let's go back to Mr. Throwdown.
Ladies and gentlemen, a big round of applause, please, for both of the fighters in this cage. Your tap out came at 2 minutes, 55 seconds of the first round for your winner by rear naked choke submission, Michael Imperato.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's hear it for both of them. Mike, I want to bring your family in here. Can I bring your family in here? Very happy for you, man. Very, very happy for you. All it took was one. You just got underneath that kick, and when you had your chance, you took him out.
Thank you guys, everyone, for coming out here. There hasn't been Pro MMA in downtown Toronto ever. Jamie Champion, Prospect Fighting, amazing show, Rebel Nightclub, great venue. Hopefully you can come back. I want to thank every single one of you guys for coming out here. I'm local, some of you know me, some of you don't, but I love you all. I appreciate all the support. Hopefully you do this again. I know the UFC's in the house. You guys are missing out on a great opportunity. You passed that once, so what's up? Let's go, let's get back.
Well, Mike, you've got a beautiful family, and you came out here. Very thrilled for you. It's not only about winning and losing, it's about growing as a martial artist and a person. You've done that, but it's also nice to win.
I don't fight for the money. I fight because I love it. That's why I'm very dangerous. My wife sticks by me through so much. I can't even imagine anyone else. No one can do it. My daughter Selena's 3 years old. She's been cage side since she's 3 months. Biggest fan. My son Michael Jr., he's my little boy. These guys gotta watch out for them in the future, but he's been in here 1 month now, 6 months. So it's an amazing experience for everybody. But fighting at home means so much. I wasn't sure if I was gonna continue, if I was gonna retire. I had a lot of thoughts. I came back, I gave it my all for my hometown. I'm gonna go back and see what I wanna do. At this moment, I don't know, but I wanna thank everybody for support the whole time. I love everybody. I put so much work into this fight, and I had to make it a win. Matt Skibicki, a lot of people wouldn't take it. He did. I respect him for coming out. He missed weight by a little, but shit happens. He's the man. He stepped in here. He gave it what he could. He hit me pretty hard. But respect to him for driving out. He's the man.
Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for Michael Imperato, your winner. Congratulations, Mike.
Michael Imperato, fantastic job in the cage in our co-main event, running his record to 9-4 with the rear naked choke victory. And it was that boa constrictor-like feeling on the ground. It took one opening, and when he got it down, Skibicki wasn't going to get back up. Robin, he said he's not sure what the future holds for Michael Imperato. The look on his face right now, standing next to Jamie Champion, says, I want back in this cage.